Today's video is on how to hook up a kitchen sink faucet and trap. All right guys, welcome back to Mr. Post Frame. We have our countertops in and I am pumped. We had backsplashes put in and then we are going to wallpaper along there and up this wall. But today's task is to get the sink hooked up. Check this countertop out, looks pretty good. This is quartz. And then we did a matching backsplash there. Oh, and I also have my drink fridge slid in there. It just slides in there, plugs in. I put an outlet in the back here. It's got a pull-out tray in the bottom, 3 shelves. It's got some lights, some LED lights, and they time out, but it looks pretty cool. And then we just have a little bitty sink. It's not very big. This sink's actually meant to be this way, but we turned it sideways just so we'd have more room here for our faucet, and so it'd be a little bit closer. Kind of like the way it is. The drain is offset a little bit, but it'll work out just fine. Here's all the stuff I think I need to install this. I got a trap, I got a drop leg, got the pieces I need to hook up from the wall, got a couple fittings for my water lines, got the sink drain. How you hook it to your wall is going to depend on what you have down here. Mine has a female threaded 1.5 inch fitting. Important thing about a faucet is the distance from here to where the spout comes out. So I measured from here to the center of the sink and it was right around 8 inches. So I wanted something that was around 7 to 8 inches, and this one was perfect. I found this at Menards and it's 7.5 inch spout reach. All right, so you have your faucet, you have your weight, here's the spout that comes out, here is the nut and washer that tightens it down to the sink, and then we have the line that goes down the spout. I'll slide this washer, this little plastic washer, over this, and then we will stick all of that down the hole. Now, we just take the washer, put it up there, and then we're going to take the nut. Yep. If you were installing your own sink, I would install the faucet first, because then you can basically do it standing up, because you have a big hole to work through. It's always difficult when you're behind the sink trying to get all this tightened up. I've got it pretty snug, but I'm gonna go up top, make sure it's straight, and then I'm gonna get my wrench and tighten that up. Most faucets will come with a wrench to tighten it. I'm gonna stick that up there. All right, so you can see there's a hole in the end, so you can stick a screwdriver or Allen wrench or something like that through to get it extra tight, which kind of shows right there in that diagram. All right, so here's a little hose guide, and that will go. So you can see how that all fastens up there. That washer's got a place for the hoses to come through. Then this little hose guide just screws on hand tight to the bottom of that. And then I'll push my spout through and the hose will come out down here. All right, so I'm gonna leave the protecting end on. And then I'm just gonna feed that through. And then I can screw the end on here. That's got a rubber O-ring in there, so you just have to hand tighten it and you'll be good. Take the end of the piece that we just slid through. It's got those little protective caps. Take it off. You can see there's a little rubber O-ring. It slides right in to that and snaps in. Pretty easy thing to do, and you'll hear that click, and that means it is in. So then all these hoses will typically have a mark on them, and that's where you hang your weight. So here's the weight. This one does not have any screws or anything, it's just got a clip. And so then you just put that around the hose and snap it on. And then that pulls it back down. It's working just perfect. All right, so these are the fittings I'm using, and yes, they are push-on fittings, and I know some people are gonna have a problem with these. I have personally never had one of these leak. I only use them where I have access to them, so I don't use push fittings behind walls or anything like this, but underneath this cabinet, I will always have access to this where if there was an issue, I could replace it, fix it. I have yet to have one of these leaks. Hopefully, knock on wood, I'm not jinxing myself. So I'm gonna take these, unwrap these, slide those on there, and then I will hook these up to the top. Take this out of the, geez, what is in there? That one looks like that's been opened before. I'll be darned. How's that? You know, people are just ridiculous. This is a used one, man. What are the chances? Well, I guess I'm not getting my single. Look at that. Unpackaged it. So somebody used this, clearly didn't know what they were doing, and then put it back in the box and returned it. So this one is what it's supposed to look like. I don't know what the chances are I could clean that other one out and fix it or not. So I'm not gonna need this part here. This is for compression, but these will just screw right on there. And there is a seal inside there. Push that on there, put the little locking clip on. This says hot. This hose, typically they will be marked. And tighten that on there. Well, that fitting is totally jacked up. Here is typically these come with the sink. This is a puttyless, so it's got a washer right there. And that just sits right down in there. And then we have the washer and the locking nut. Got that all on there. All right, so depending on what comes out of the wall, will depend on how you have to do this. I have a female 1.5" threaded fitting with a plug in it. And so this is an 1.5" male thread. So I'm gonna have to cut a piece of 1.5", glue it in there, and then my 1.5" drain coming from my trap will go in this end. The good thing about this is this brings this out from the wall a few inches, which is what I needed in order for the trap that I have to make it back here and into this pipe. All right, so we have this glued together. The nice part about this is I can always get this out of the wall if I need to. So this will go up here. I'm not sure if this is gonna be the right length or not. It's supposed to self-seal, we'll see. Got this seal right here. Fits right in there. Over the side, that's going to screw onto there. I'm going to have to cut this. I'll go there, so cut it off. Alright, I cut this off, hit my mark. So let's try this again. I'll pull that out of there. I make sure I have this on here. That's gonna slide up in here. There we go. That's gonna go in there. Make sure. I'm not sure I like this flexible drop leg. I might change that out. I go to the store. I guess that's pretty solid once I get it all tightened. Yeah, pretty pretty solid. All right, so I have a manifold system. So we'll go back here to the utility room. It's gonna be loud in here because the AC is running. I guess it's not too bad. Flip you around. All right, so I can turn the hot on our kitchenette sink. And then on the cold, you got kitchenette sink right there. No leaks, there's probably quite a bit of air in there. All right, look what I found at the Ace Hardware in town. They had one. It took me about 20 minutes to run in there and get this and come back versus going all the way to Menards. I'm gonna get this installed, get this water line hooked up and see how it works. Kitchenette sink, right there. Water stops, so that's a good sign. Hot's working. Mixing valve's working. Cold is working. Alright, so this sink came with a little strainer. That's probably what we'll mostly have in there. You can also plug it if you want. There we go. Alright, that's going to finish up this area other than the door I'm waiting on and the wallpaper. So I'm pretty excited to be done. Faucet's in, trap, drain, water lines are in, drink fridge is in and running. So it is all done, at least for my part. As always, we appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share us to your friends, and don't stop dreaming.